In today's episode, Bernie asks, do you see chatbots being effective in building and growing the relationships between the brand and audience in 2020? So, chatbots are a tool, right? They're a tactic. The question really is, or the question should be, how effective is a chatbot at enhancing the overall customer experience? Remember that a chatbot is really nothing more than a piece of software, right? The piece of software that interacts with customers at a certain point in the customer experience. Most of the time, they are used in two places. They are used in upper funnel introductions and end of journey customer support, customer relationship management. They're a form of automation, and as such, because they are an automation, they are best suited for highly repetitive, highly predictable tasks. So the real question is, what does your customer experience look like? What does your customer journey look like? What steps in that customer journey are highly repetitive on the part of the customer, not on our part? Again, with all customer experience technologies, we want to make sure that we are looking at things from the perspective of the customer and improving things from their perspective, not from ours. The perception, for good or ill, is that chatbots are a money-saving, job-cutting technology that companies use to avoid spending money on customer service, avoid spending money on customer experience, reduce headcount. There's some truth to that, right? However you choose to deploy chatbots or any customer experience technology, you want to avoid playing into that perception, right? You want to use the tools for what they're best at and not use them to cut costs. You want to use them to enhance the customer experience, not take away from it. So what are chatbots good for? Right? What's repetitive? Getting basic information. Right? What are your hours? That's a question that is well suited for a bot. Basic asking for help. So a bot that can say, like, if you're here for help, how can we help? Do you want someone to call you? Do you want someone to email you? Do you want to do a live chat? Whatever the case is, you can use the bot to reach out and ask people how they want to be helped. Probably not try to build a massive bot to help on behalf of the customer, unless you know that there is just this one thing that everybody needs help with. You probably should fix that thing first. Third is finding resources. Bots are really good at helping somebody navigate, especially if you've got a large website, you have a large support catalog. If you have let's say you're a consumer products company and there's 500 frequently asked questions and manual pages and stuff on your website, a bot is really good at helping somebody skip the navigation as long as the natural language processing is good. And you can say I need help with the manual for these new headphones, the model XM22 headphones, and the bot should, if it's well programmed, be able to find that content for the customer and get it to them. And fourth, of course, is that bots are really good at greeting and proactively introducing known resources. So as part of that introductory phase, when the customer first comes to the website, the bot should be able to say, hey, welcome. Here's some things that people commonly look for. What can I help you with? That way, people realize this bot is here to help the customer experience, to help them get to their answers faster. That's really what they're good at, is get people to an answer faster. What are they bad at? Well, bots are really bad at handling anomalies and exceptions, right? When somebody writes in and says, hey, I got the new XM22 headphones and they caught on fire. That is an exception. I hope it's an exception. That's something that, again, should not be something that the software should be trying to handle. That's something that, ideally, if a bot is well constructed, it has anomaly and exception detection and immediately routes to a human to help out. Bots today, even with really good models, are still not great at natural language queries and conversations, right? There's still a tremendous amount of training that has to happen. Now, it's getting much, much better. 2 years ago, I would have said they were terrible at natural language processing, period, but they are much, much better than they used to be. They're still not as good as a person. And most of all, Bots are really bad at handling unhappy customers, right? If someone is angry or upset or frustrated, you want to get them to a human as quickly as possible. You do not want to try to get them to avoid talking to a human, because that's not why that person's there. One of the things that companies need to think about is that sometimes, in some cases, depending on how frustrating your product is, your human support almost has to have some like basic therapist training to help a person get out of an unhappy emotional state first before solving their problem. That is not something a bot can do, period. Now, looking forward in 2020, what do we expect to happen? The last 2 years have been absolutely exceptional in what has happened to natural language processing and our ability for machines to understand language. You've heard big news this year about Google's BERT models and OpenAI's GPT-2 technology and many, many, many other pre-trained models. Those are continuing to grow in complexity. Those are continuing to process data and language really well, and I expect that to be the case in 2020 as well. Making use of those pre-trained models is getting better. The ability for people to simply download a massive pre-trained model, tune it up a little bit for their use case, and then deploy it has gotten substantially easier in the last year or so. And again, I expect that to continue. And that the impact of that is that you will be able to hit the ground running with a chatbot or any AI task that uses language much faster. Download the model, spend maybe a couple of days tuning it, and immediately roll it out in production. And chatbot software continues to improve as well. It continues to get easier for people to deploy. 2 years ago, you were rolling up your sleeves and coding. Right? That was just how you got a chatbot running. And it's one of the reasons why initial people who tried it out were like, this is not for us, because it's a lot of work to support. Many services are getting much easier to use. Drag and drop or very, very simple code. I was sitting down with one of my kids over this past weekend, and we built our first bot in Discord, and it was very straightforward. And some basic Python to get it connected and stuff. Super, super easy. Download a template and just modify it. So bots are getting much easier for brands to deploy as well. So those are what we have to look forward to for the future of customer experience, the future of chatbots in 2020. There are any number of things that could change that we can't see right now. We may have a revolution in compute power, for example. If that happens, it could be a massive game changer. So some things to look forward to no matter what. Great question. Leave your follow-up questions below. And, of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel and the newsletter. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Want help solving your company's data, analytics, and digital marketing problems? Visit trustinsights.ai today and let us know how we can help you.